Good morning, and thank you for joining us for SBB Live. I am your host and the publisher of Seniors Blue Book, Amanda Barton, and I'm really excited today to bring on one of our referral partners, Miss Britton Swank, who is an elder law attorney. How are you this morning, Britton?
I'm doing great, and I'm happy to be here with you.
Wonderful. We appreciate your time. I know that you are one busy lady. Tell me a little bit about yourself and what got you into this specific field.
I had a grandfather who had memory issues, and so part of what got me interested in helping seniors was because I was very close to my grandparents, and just kind of seeing our family as a whole go through his illness, the effect that it had on my grandmother and my father and my aunt. Was a big part of my life. And so later, when I became interested in the law, it just seemed like a natural fit for me to be able to connect those two things, because I feel very rewarded when I'm able to help people who are going through that kind of a struggle in particular. Not that I just help people who are caregivers or family members of someone suffering from a memory impairment or other illness, but because I went through that in my own family, I know how meaningful it is to get some help. And so I find that rewarding, and that's, I think, why I chose to focus on this as a career.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love listening to your stories about how you speak candidly with your family about the different fees that are associated with being a lawyer. So you've got some of my favorite stories. Now, I know that we're living in a very unique time. What would you say are some of the documents that people really, truly need to have in place as we go through something like this pandemic?
I think that, and this is always sort of something that I feel is one of the most important documents, even when we're not in the midst of a global pandemic, but has become even more so in terms of importance, or more important now, I think, is the durable power of attorney, because now more than ever, we have people who are at risk, I mean, in a high risk category in terms of their age or maybe health situations that they're facing. And it's really important for them to be at home and not be trying to go to a bank, for example, or may not be able to get out of a facility. So there are all kinds of situations that we're encountering now where there are barriers to being able to take care of your own affairs. And having a durable power of attorney and having someone else with the ability to tackle those things for you is critical right now. And I think this has just sort of highlighted the importance of that document. But it's definitely a struggle right now for families who don't have that kind of authority to help somebody.
Sure, sure. And yeah, I'm going to emphasize with you, I've always asked, one of my very first questions when we do our educational courses, what is the single most important document? Your answer's always been durable power of attorney. But I couldn't emphasize more that how much I agree with you that now is the time. And I'm sure that there are some things that have changed in your office as far as being able to help your clients come in and get that paperwork done. So do you want to go over some of those?
So this has been, what is the saying? Necessity is the mother of invention. And so we have had to get creative and work hard to come up with ways that I can keep a client safe, the client safe, my staff safe, because we want everybody to stay well. We want to be able to continue to help people moving forward. And so it almost feels like we kind of decide. It's changing, frankly, as we move forward with this. But in a lot of ways, my goal is really at this point to do as much as I can through video conferences like this, through telephone conferences or appointments. But certainly when it gets to the point that people need to sign documents, particularly with the population, the age group that I largely serve, you have to have a face-to-face signing. And so some of the things that we've been doing is are having signings take place through a window, opening, closing a window. If somebody's at a facility, you may need to use, if there's not a window there, you may need to use a front door with glass. We call them parking lot signings, where maybe somebody comes up and we do things through the car window and talking on the phone. So technology is certainly, as long as it's working, is a huge help, and helping keep people safe. For those clients who aren't comfortable with some of the technology options that are available to try to bring people together right now, what we're also trying to do is, if somebody doesn't have a computer or a smartphone, an iPad, a way to use a program like Zoom or some of the other video conferencing tools, you can come into the office and sit in a conference room that you'll be by yourself, but we have a computer set up. So it's all ready to go. So you would just come in directly into the building from the outside to the conference room, sit down, and we would have the video conference already set up. So I would be in a different room in the building and we'd be able to see each other without being in the same room. So we try to do our best to accommodate people to make them comfortable. But it's a struggle, because there are some people that definitely still want to sit down and be across the table from you. We're taking temperatures, and doing a lot of that, both with people who come in the building, and also we do it as a team, those of us who are in the office. Not everybody is necessarily here every day, but
exactly. And you probably touched on this in this description, but all of us are facing different challenges in our industry and in our business. What would you say some of the challenges are that you're facing there at Britton Swank Law?
I think it's just trying to meet the needs of the client in a way that's really we're able to keep them safe. I would say for the most part, people have been very safety conscious and want to socially distance as much,
right.
As
they're probably very appreciative of your efforts, I would say. Even if they don't like it, they know you're doing it for the right reasons.
Right reason. But it's I think the first month or so was pretty tough, and I'm sure that's true of everyone out there, who both working and non-working people, trying to make adjustments with your daily routine. But for, I think, initially for attorneys in general, was trying to figure out what those of us that were essential versus, are we essential workers, working through those issues, just like all other professions in the state were working through. And then how do we, particularly those of us that are elder law attorneys, make sure we're there for really the people who are some of the most vulnerable, the most vulnerable population in our state. I mean, that is who, as an elder law attorney, we serve. And so it's really important, I think, to all of us who do this as a profession, to make sure we can be there for them at the time. And so
some of them may need you now more than ever.
And how do we figure out a way to do what we do to keep them safe, to keep employees safe so that we can continue to be there for people. But it's definitely, I think we've come up with some clever ideas along the way, and got a little creative. I've got a little plexiglass shields, and we've
Nice.
got gloves, and for a while there you couldn't get rubber, the medical gloves, so maybe you use dishwashing gloves or whatever you have to do.
It's amazing what we have been able to transform and make the best out of a situation and figure it out. We didn't think we were going to be able to do X, Y, Z, but you know what? We did it, and we have come through this even stronger. And I truly believe that it's going to make us all much stronger and innovative individuals at the end of it.
And I think people too have been really understanding that we're all just trying to do the best we can and take care of our clients. And so, I mean, there have been many days where I'm trying to speak with clients and I'm at home. I'm like you, I'm an animal person. So I have 2 big dogs, and heaven forbid that an Amazon box land at the doorstep
while you're trying to do a call.
Correct. And children at home doing homeschooling. So I've warned people, try to warn people at the beginning and say, I apologize in advance. I had another meeting, thankfully it was with my team, but where my son got his 10-speed bicycle and decided to ride it through the living room right behind the meeting. And so there's been all these kinds of, normally I think I would have been haunted by these kinds of things for days. And now I just
let it roll off your back.
It's okay. And I've found that.
It's funny you say that. My coworker on our, one of our updates on Monday, from the Ellen show, it was Zoom failures, I think she called it, and one of them was her daughter standing on the kitchen counter like dancing behind her. She doesn't realize it.
I think I could have had some submissions.
Yes, it sounds like it. That would be awesome, but it's all in fun, and now all we can do is laugh about it now.
Right. So. And so I think of things that have been good to come out of this, I feel like so many people have been such good sports.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely. Well, the next time we bring you on, we're going to have to do a pet edition with your dogs.
Yes, I actually thought very hard about bringing one of mine for today's interview, but they both got haircuts and they're not looking their best. So I thought maybe they could grow out a little bit. And
well, you let me know when you're ready for that. And it'll be another segment of SBD Live #Pet Edition.
Yes, I'm in.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time and what you're doing for the community. You're a good sport, to use your words, for being so innovative and thinking outside the box. So we just appreciate your support of Seniors Blue Book and the Southwest Florida community. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
I'm happy to join you today, and I'll come back with my 2 canines next time.